こんにちは、ハリケーンフットボールです。今回の教材は、クリスタルパレスの鎌田大地に関する動画です。クリスタルパレスはアストンビラに3対0で、結果的には圧勝しました。試合を見た人は言うまでもないと思いますが、鎌田大地は最高とも言えるパフォーマンスでした。クリスタルパレスファンも絶賛していますので、早速動画をチェックしてみましょう。
What's going on, people? Welcome to the match reaction show. We have got our first win of the season. Saying that, we're not on bad run of form. 14 games unbeaten, another clean sheet, whilst having a thin squad. That is what Oliver Glasner does. I'm joined by Lou and Hambo here. The lines will be open in about a few minutes' time. I'll post it so you can join us live tonight as well. But most importantly, get involved. Let us know your thoughts in the live comment section and the comment section down below. And let's see, how many likes can we get for that performance? We must be able to be over 200 likes, and subscribe if you're new to the channel. Gents, I'll be honest, after Thursday, you get worried about fatigue. Have we got enough legs, enough players because of how thin the squad is? I'll start off with you, Hambo. What performance? What a performance. And that's what to really expect from Oliver Glasner. This is a man that has managed the Europa League before and has won the Europa League, so he knows the balance between European football and league football. But still, the credit, like tactically, again, you know, I mean, must hate him.
Yeah, I mean, it's interesting, isn't it? I mean, look, first of all, can I just say, you really shouldn't be worrying about how many legs people have. It's 2 legs for football.
Yeah, well, I mean, it depends.
2 each.
Well, to be fair, Ismail Assar had 2 legs on him, but he couldn't use one of the legs. So that's what I meant. Yeah. That's what I meant.
I think that might have been a shame over diving and pretending that he had a hamstring injury, but we don't know.
I was hoping for that, but he actually had to go off. So,
look, all jokes aside, it was an incredible display, really. Same as you, and I think that we did see obviously some elements of fatigue creeping in, obviously, because one of the things we know from years gone by where certain managers just played the same team every week, no matter what they had, you basically end up with people getting injured and running themselves into the ground. So like you, I had that concern. And you know, the start of the game, that just went straight away, didn't it? Like, I think the way Emery approaches things, I mean, he's very, very committed, isn't he, to how Villa play and how he wants them to play. And it just does not mix well with us. But he doesn't seem to want to change too much. But I don't want to take too much anything really away from how we set ourselves up today, because we really, you know, they responded second half, but first half we didn't let them in it, and we were utterly dominant away from home against what is a very good team. Obviously, they haven't scored this season, but it's still very early days, and so you haven't really got that excuse from their perspective. But they just played like a team that kind of didn't really know how to approach the game, and almost like they assumed we would be knackered from Thursday. You know, maybe they watched it and were as sleepy as we were after watching that midweek performance. So, but look, it was amazing display. So many things to talk about in terms of individuals and the team performance overall. But just to sort of sign off my opening part, which is, you know, Glasner's done it again in terms of pulling this team together. The team spirit, the organisation, never in question. And when you start looking at who went off the pitch during the course of the game, you know, and it didn't impact us. In fact, we looked just as strong at the end as we did at the start. So, yeah, really, really happy with that today.
Yeah. Lou, for you, what was the difference today? I mean, there was, I believe, only one change. That was Will Hughes. For Lerma, Kamada still played in the number 10 role. I mean, on Thursday, you was there in Norway, and it was a very annoying performance to watch at times because we just couldn't really create any chances. But today, it was the opposite. What was it?
Probably stylistically, Aston Villa play into our hands like they always do. And if you listen to Carl, that Fredrikstad took all the most detailed analytics from Liverpool on how to play against us, and it was on a 4G pitch, so that was always going to be tough. Today was just, listen, it's probably, when we played them in the FA Cup semi-final, I'd probably say that's the best I've ever seen Palace play in a game. I think that might have beaten it today, in the sense of maybe the Villa team that we played in the semis was better. That team wasn't, today just looked a bit weak. But we just battered them all over the pitch, technically, physically, mentally. It was just the most complete performance, away performance you'll ever see. Limited to trying to swing in corners and crosses and play. They ended up resorting to playing long balls against Maxence Lacroix, who's way faster than Watkins. So that didn't make any sense. They just didn't have a clue how to break us down. Just quick shout out to the fans who went, because that is some serious dedication. I like to think of myself as a dedicated fan, but I met someone who's like a big fan of the channel, Damo. I was with him in the airport and he was telling me he was gonna arrive Saturday morning at 7 a.m. after changing in Amsterdam, and then he was going straight to Birmingham to stay over to watch the game. And I think all those fans that went today, they deserve that performance.
Yeah, they do.
And a quick shout out to Pino as well, because wow, he looks unbelievable.
We'll talk about it. There's a lot of shouts. We want to give shout out to the whole team. I think everyone really played great and for different reasons. But today we saw Kamada once again playing the number 10 role, Hambo, and previously we've seen Deveni play there whilst Kamada was out, and then Esse also come on. But today Kamada, wow. Like, I done a watch along. I was watching him. I was just like, both on the ball and off the ball, he was there. He was everywhere. He was literally everywhere doing everything. What a transformation when you compare how he was this time last year to now. Because this time last year, he looked like he was a bit lost, like he was trying to figure out how to play in the Premier League. But now he's playing in the number 10 role, and he's doing both roles, defensively and going forward well. He won the penalty, of course, but I thought he had a great game.
Yeah, he was sensational today. Like, that's when the talk of him signing for Palace came about. That's the player that everybody who knew him thought we were signing. And I just think it's a case of some players some players slot in and look perfect immediately, like Pino. And some people take a very, very long time to adjust to a team. And there's lots of reasons for that. I think not nailing down a specific spot in the team in terms of whether he is playing a 10 or playing in centre mid, I think that probably didn't help him settle. But today we just saw everything that you want to see from a player in his position. As a 10, he was busy. He was sharp. He didn't get bullied off the ball, which has happened a lot in the past. His vision today was just superb. Often I'm critical of him just playing too quickly, playing the simple pass, not looking forward, kind of soon enough and taking the easy options. But there was none of that today. There was no hiding today. He moved possession about when he needed to, when it was the right moment, just to knock the ball back to whoever passed it to him, change the angle, make a move. But it was his movement off the ball today that I thought was top class. Like, I honestly, I couldn't be happier seeing that performance today. And I think there's a lot that'll overshadow it. We'll talk about Gay's goal. We'll talk about, Pino in more detail, I'm sure. But I think a lot will overshadow that performance today, but it shouldn't, because Daichi Kamada was, at least up there with Gay in terms of the best players on the pitch.
Yeah.
Absolutely brilliant today.
I think Richards was up, Lacroix, Richards. I think the whole back line in particular. I just think as a squad, and what Lou said, I don't think it was just a bunch of it was individuals playing. Well, individuals did play well, 100%. But I think as the whole team, the structure, you can just tell everyone knows what to do. And Villa struggled to create chances. They had to go long to try and get something over us. And it just didn't work out. It just didn't work out. And I'm just, over the moon with the performance, both defensively and going forward.
次は解説です。今回は珍しい表現などをピックアップして解説しています。早速本日の解説をチェックしてみましょ
う。Yeah, that's what I mean. I think that might have been a shame over diving.
シェムという単語は偽物、見せかけ、インチキという意味で使われます。シェムマリエッジという言葉は偽装結婚を意味します。形容詞としてシェムスマイルといえば作り笑いのことを指し、動詞としては何々のふりをするという意味になります。 日本語にすると、嘘っぱち、見せかけ、ごまかしといった表現が近いです。日常会話だけでなく、ニュースや政治批評でもよく使われる単語なので覚えておくと便利です。
Yeah.
That's what I
I
mean.
think that might have been a shame over diving. Yeah.
That's what I mean.
I think that might have been a shame over diving and running themselves into the ground.
ライントゥザグラウンドという表現は、直訳すると、地面に走らせるですが、比喩的に、使いすぎてダメにするや、疲れ果てさせるという意味で使われます。例えば、マネージャーは従業員を疲れ果てさせたという場合や、彼は会社を潰してしまったという場面で使われます。さらに、同じ冗談を繰り返しすぎてしらけさせるというような場面でも使えます。文脈によって、人、物、組織、話題など対象が変わりますが、共通するイメージは、限界まで酷使して壊すや、やりすぎて台無しにするということです。
Running themselves into the ground.
And it was on a 4G pitch.
4G ピッチというのは、サッカーやラグビーで使われる人工芝のグラウンドを指します。4G は、フォースジェネレーション、つまり、第4世代の略で、最新型の人工芝を意味します。従来の 3G ピッチは砂とゴムチップを混ぜた人工芝でしたが、4G ピッチはゴムチップを使わず、より天然芝に近い感触を再現したものです。スポーツニュースやクラブの施設紹介で、4G ピッチという言葉が出てきたら、最新の人工芝グラウンドと理解すればよいでしょ
う。And it was on a 4G pitch. They ended up resorting to playing long balls against Maxence Lacroix.
リゾートトゥという表現は、やむを得ず何かに頼るや、最後の手段として何かを使うという意味です。例えば、政府はやむなく増税に踏み切ったというような場合、増税に頼らざるを得なかったという意味で使われます。重要なのは、普通は避けたい手段を仕方なく使うときに使われるということです。日常会話では、彼はトラブルを避けるためにやむなく嘘をついたのような場面で使うことができ、ニュースやビジネス記事でよく出てくる表現なので、覚えておくと非常に役立ちます。
They ended up resorting to playing long balls against Maxence Lacroix.
He didn't get bullied off the ball.
ゲットブリードオフザボールという表現は、サッカー解説などでよく使われます。直訳すると、ボールからいじめられるですが、実際の意味は、相手のフィジカルの強さに負けてボールを失うということで、特に体格差や強さが勝敗を分ける場面でよく使われます。日本語で言えば、当たり負けしてボールを取られるや、体でねじ伏せられるといったニュアンスです。試合解説で頻繁に出てくるので、サッカー好きはぜひ覚えておきたい表現です。
He didn't get bullied off the ball.
いかがでしたか？鎌田大地は前の試合に続き、エベレチエゼのポジションであった10番のポジションでプレーしました。特にクリスタルパレスの戦い方の中での10番には、鎌田自身のプレースタイルが合っていないということは、鎌田本人も話していましたし、昨シーズンも何度かプレーした試合でも、あまり評価は良いものではありませんでした。しかし、この試合では、本当に悪いところが見えないほど、ボールを収め、ボールを受け取りに動き回り、ボールを拾い、ボールを回し、スペースに抜け出し、スルーパスを出し、シュートチャンスを作り、PK も獲得し、本当に全てのことをやっているようでした。チームとしても、これまでで最高のパフォーマンスだったとも言っていましたが、鎌田大地としても、最高の試合と言って良いんじゃないでしょうか。このパフォーマンスを見れば、もうよほどのことがない限り、1回や2回の悪い試合をしたとしても、簡単に評価が変わらないだろうと思えるほどで、そういうプレッシャーが高くない方が、余裕を持って、鎌田らしいプレーが見れるとも感じますので、今後の鎌田大地が、さらに楽しみにしか感じません。日本代表にも追加招集されたので、次はサムライブルーで躍動する鎌田を楽しみにしたいと思います。本日もご視聴いただきありがとうございました。またすぐにお会いしましょう。